All right, Josh, give her a try.
Well, here we go, let's get those wheels out on the road. It may get dusty, but that's the way she goes. We'll build some greasy old cars and drink our AGD. Hey, don't you know, it's partly built.
So, after we had no success last weekend, we decided maybe we'll do the tune-up. Yeah, I don't know if it'll focus on this, but see if I can make this work. The spark plug is, there's no electrode left basically, and this is like the nicest spark plug. So we put in new plugs, and we're gonna try this again. File that for later. All right, Josh. I might have to run the throttle here. Go ahead. We have a running Beetle! See if it shuts off? I like your welding helmet. Me too. So, now that we got the engine running, it's time to build the throttle. And the Beetle one just won't do. So we've kind of like, this is from the Cavalier, but it's been shortened, and we just moved the pad up. Exhaust tubing to space it away. This is from that old Ford truck for my throttle cable to go through. I mean, it should work.
It always should work.
We'll see. Cooling system installed. Josh says it's installed. I say it's professionally installed.
It's there.
You may think we forgot to take the clamp off, but this actually stops the hose from kinking. I need one of those over here. I need to do something with this. But for now, this is mounted. It's the highest point in the cooling system, so theoretically,
No vapor lock.
problem solved. Now we just have to connect all the cooling at the back. And now that our throttle cable or throttle mount is cooled off, we can install and test that, and then I can finish up the throttle cable. If we can finish up the cooling system and the throttle cable, we can actually run this thing, get it up to temperature, and make sure everything works proper. Fingers crossed. All right, so the throttle pedal is horrifically mounted, and the cable is ran. A little stiff.
A little bit. But the spring's pulling it back, so.
I think we're good. One more thing we can knock off the list. All right, we're just getting ready to finish up the steering rods. So Josh drilled through from the top, and then I oversized the holes from below. And I have these really well-hardened spacers. I mean, some would call them a wrist pin from a small block. Actually, these are probably from a 5-liter Ford, like a Coyote, but we'll put them up in here. We'll get the bolts started through. Then we'll just weld these into the bottom. That way we don't have to worry about it crushing any of the subframe. Everything will be mounted strong. And then there'll be a spacer above, and then the heim joint. And then at this side, we'll do the same thing. A bolt through with a spacer, and then the heim joint. And then our steering should be locked out. So that's one more thing done. I've got most of the cooling system done now. I've got this line all the way to the front done. The breather line I just have to tie in above. We got to weld a few beads on that to keep the hose on, and then I can figure out that hose. And then the cooling system's done. So that's another thing off the list. I went to put the belt on it, but I got a belt for removing the air conditioning, and it's not going to work because of the style of tensioner, so I'm just going to get the air conditioning delete pulley. And we'll get a stock belt, and then it's always easy to find a belt because you know what the size is, because it's the same as a stock one. I got some EPDM rubber hose to withstand the brake fluid, and I tied the master cylinder into the reservoir. So the only thing left in the brake system is to wire up the line lock, fill it, and bleed it. And then we'll have brakes. The throttle cable, as you saw, is done. So we're getting to almost to the point where we could test drive it. We just don't have brake fluid to finish the brakes. And we got some more messing around to finish doing the lockout for the Cavalier steering. So it's getting close. Oh, and we should probably put an air filter on it. But it doesn't really matter right now because, I don't know, we got to go around and check ground, see if we got a loose ground. Because we come back out after lunch and it doesn't want to start. So, oh well, we'll keep tinkering away. We know it runs. How well it runs is yet to be seen, but at least we can get the brakes 100% done, get the rear steering lockout 100% done, get the cooling system done, the fuel system's already done, and then it's a matter of tying up stuff in the cab, filling all the gaps, building the covers for the engine bay, you know, mounting the tail with more than a couple spot welds, but we're getting close.